our next hot topic. There's a man sentenced to life, Lawrence Dority. He was sentenced to life in prison for the fatal shooting of former Orlando Magic basketball player Adrian Payne. Lawrence Dority is 31 years old, and this was a situation where he was having a bad situation with his ex-wife or girlfriend. His ex-wife or girlfriend happens to be friends with Adrian Payne's wife or girlfriend. I'm not sure of the relations, but they're close friends. You know, she was suited to go over there. Of course, Adrian went with her, and they had an altercation, and he unalived them. This one is kind of tricky because at the end of the day, somebody's life was lost. And most times when people get life, they're in a situation where somebody didn't have to lose their life. But also, and I must say this, fellas, and I know we got some ladies in the chat, but this is not necessarily against the ladies, right? This is more so learning how to pick and fight your own battles. You don't fight other people's battles. And I spoke about this prior to, based on this particular case, right? But they didn't have the final judgment at that particular time. And what I mean is this: Adrian Payne should have minded his business. Adrian Payne should have minded his business. He should have told his woman, whether his wife or girlfriend, to call the police. Let the authorities handle their situation. That's what he should have done. Regardless on what he was doing to his wife or his girlfriend, that issue is for the police. It's for the authorities. If a man is having issues with his woman and another man says, yo, if you put your hands on her again, if you do this, if you do that, I'm going to step in and be the hero, or I'm going to restrain you. So now it's man on man. Adrian Payne was, what, 6'9", 6'10"? Was it right for him to get shot? Of course not. Not advocating for that. Not at all. I believe man on man, you use your hands, bro. You use your hands, man to man. But in this particular situation, emotions are being riled up. Emotions is moving 1,000 a minute. And that's not an excuse, but you have to understand situations. And if you had never been in a situation, then you don't understand what I'm talking about. Emotions do fly, especially when you're dealing with your manhood being challenged man to man. And that's why you have a lot of people out here with guns, because some men know physically they can't do it. So they not going to get beat on. So they're going to have something that they feel can be even. So we have to understand that. That is a factor. Obviously, it's a factor, right? He should have called the authorities and let the authorities handle their situation, their nonsense. Because, I'm saying this with all due respect, if you would ask Adrian's Payne's family right now, they probably would have hoped that he would have made that decision. And I'm not saying that distastefully. I'm saying that they would rather have him here. They would rather have him here and to call the authorities for their situation, opposed to going over there and for dude to fight the fair fight. No, people out here is not fighting fair. And if we know that, if we have that in the back of our mind, and you going through something and you see 6'9", 6'10", and he gonna say something, you gonna say something, something is gonna get done. And we have to stop negating and neglecting that we all have a part to play in this. And minding our business is a part to play. And saying, you know what? I'm not gonna walk away, but I'm not stepping up. The authorities got license to do that. The authorities have a way to get over there to diffuse the situation and nobody walk away with a loss of life. And now I'm pretty sure Adrian Payne has children and they missing a dad, and his wife or a girlfriend is missing her husband or boyfriend. They would rather have him here. So learn how to mind your business and pick up the phone and call the authorities. This is what they get paid to do. And some of them get paid amazingly well, might I add. Let them do their damn job. Let them do their job. Simple and plain. Let me check out the chat real quick. Remember Lawrence Phillips? Yes, I do. I remember Lawrence Phillips from Nebraska, the running back from Nebraska, and was on the Rams. Opinion on, shout out to Shane. Appreciate Shane in the building. I support the LGBT community. That's what that's what the chat is saying. But the LGBT got nothing to do about this subject. Shout out to Dope by Strangers. Yes, absolutely. How about them Cowboys? Shout out to Vic. That's Law. Because shout out to Paul, because sad if he would have mind his business and after told his family about the situation, they would have said, I'm glad you walked away, because she probably was going to go back with him. Paul, you get it. You hit it right on the head. I had a situation with a cousin, and I think I said this on the chat, with a cousin of mine she was going through something. And when I stepped up and put him down, my cousin turned on me. Had the police trying to have me all the way locked up. And I had a couple of little ladies back in the day. So I'm able to speak about it now, freely now, and not be tied emotionally like how I used to be. Like, yo, I can't believe this is supposed to be family. And she ended up right back with him. The fact that he thought he could pull that in front of me, though, it was like, whoa. I'm much lighter than what I used to be at the time of what happened. I was about 230, 232 at the time. So, you know what I'm saying? College running back type of style. And he thought he could pull that in front of me. He thought we was that cool. It was like, whoa. I didn't even have... Anyway, so again, that situation could have been bad, and he could have pulled out a gun. And I could have lost my life. And my family would have been like, yo, why didn't you mind your business? My father, see that man in the background, he's perfect for saying that. Why didn't you mind your business? That wasn't your business to step into. Call the cops. What are you doing? Because now, if your daughter is raised without a dad, then what? Now, me and your mom, we lost another son. Then what? So again, we have to learn how to mind our business or learn how to interject the authorities. They are the authorities for a reason. They get paid for this. Let them do their job. So again, I say with all sincerity, rest in peace to Adrian Payne. And again, it's sad that how this situation materialized, because I'm pretty sure his family would rather for him to walk away and deal with it the way that I'm suggesting. And I say that with all sincerity. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Drake, the rapper Drake, has been found to be the most streamed rapper from 2015